Hello you guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, you're watching Booked on Charity, and welcome to my 2024 reading and channel goals. So first off, I've got a full house today. So if you hear noise in the background, like right now, please bear with me. I've been trying to record this video for 2 days now, and I feel like I'm running out of time. It is holiday time, so my household is always full. So I hope you guys don't mind too much. But yeah, we're here for my 2024 reading goals and channel goals. I've tweaked it a little bit from what I did last year. I don't think I reached any of my goals. So I had a reading goal of 100 books, but I had such a very slow start to the year that I didn't get much done. And also towards the end of the year, I had a very slow run in terms of my reading, so I didn't reach that goal. So currently I have read a total of 66 books, which is even less than what I read in 2022, but I don't mind because 66 books is still a lot of books, and I got to read some great books this year, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so with that said, I still have a reading goal of 100 books next year. I still want to try and reach that goal, no matter how long it takes me to do that. I don't know. I wanna try and see how close I can get to 100 books. However, the way that I'm going to be marking and tracking that goal would be kind of like per quarter. So when the year starts, I'm actually gonna set my reading goal to 25 books, and the minute that I reach 25 books, then I will set it to 50 books. When I reach 50, I'll set it to 75, and then to 100. So I will do it like that, because even though I still wanna get to a point where I'm reading 100 books, it's not nice looking at you are 12 books behind. I don't want to see that. So yeah, I don't want to see that high number in terms of you are this amount, especially in the double digits, you are this amount of books behind. So to kind of trick the system so that it can work for my brain and I don't feel pressure, I'm going to set my goals at increments of 25. By the way, I'm using my notes app to go through my goals. I wrote all my goals for the year. It seems like a lot, so hopefully this is not a long video. 2023, I was kind of using both the Storygraph and Goodreads, but I found it difficult to keep track on both apps. It's a lot of work, so I don't really want to track anything on Goodreads. So I think in terms of on Goodreads side, because I'm not deleting the app, on Goodreads side I will set my reading goal to 1, and then when I do my book reviews on Instagram, because I like to go and paste those same reviews on Goodreads, then I can still mark what I've read. So that's gonna be how I'm managing it. And then on the Storygraph, because they've got better stats that I actually really like to look at, to use, and when I'm doing my wrap-ups as well, I would typically go to the Storygraph to look at those stats. So then I will set up my goals on the Storygraph. So yeah, so in terms of app, that's what I'm using. And I also still have Copile, so I'm still using Copile. I've already created a copy and set up my 2024 spreadsheet. I've got my laptop next to me, that's why I'm looking this side. So I've already set up my 2024 spreadsheet, and I've cleared the Copile side. So I will share somewhere on the screen just to give you an idea of what the spreadsheet looks like. So firstly, we've got the core pile tab, which would list all of the books that you've read, the month that you've read them, the author, the year of publishing, the format in which you read it, and so on. So there's all these different categories that you can like fill in, and then you've got your actual star ratings. So core pile stands for characters, atmosphere, writing, plot, intrigue, logic, and enjoyment. So there's actual columns for each of those sections, and that's the rating style that I enjoy using. This sheet and this rating style was created by G over at Book Roast, and I absolutely love it. I did fall off updating my core pile in 2023, and I want to do better because I love this spreadsheet, and if I can get everything up to date, I will actually be using this for my wrap-up videos, which I'm still on the fence whether I want to do or not, but story for later in this video. But yeah, so we've got the core pile tab with all that information, and everything that you fill on that core pile tab gets populated in the next tab, which is called the reading stats, and it pulls up information for you on what your reading looks like. So I love the way it's set up. I don't change anything. I don't know if she's gonna make a new revision for 2024 because we're currently on revision 4 of core pile. And then the one sheet that I'll be going through with you guys is my series tracker, but we'll go through that. Core pile does have a series tracker, and I like to list all the series that I have started, open, or I've got the books and I want to read, because I did not finish a single series in 2023. I want to do better in 2024. And then we've got a new books tab, which lists every book that you have bought for the year, and the month it's acquired, who the author is, the format in which you bought the book. I only buy physical books. I don't really buy audio or ebooks. I've got a Kindle app, but I'm mostly using my Kindle app to read ebooks that are ARCs that I get from NetGalley. So I am subscribed to NetGalley, and I get a list also of books that are available on NetGalley from one of our publishers. So they send me that list, and I've found 2 books that I'm really interested in that I've already saved on my NetGalley, and I just need to connect it to my Kindle app to read. That's what's going. So I don't buy any books outside of physical books, so I list them there. I also list books that I receive from publishers, so I can keep track who's sending me what. And there's also a cost tab to see how much you're spending on books, as well as whether I've read the book. And I added a column for reviewed, because I am still in the mindset of wanting to review each book that I read. I want to do better with that in 2024. And then it's got a graph to show you how many books have been acquired for the year. So that's what we have going on here. And then the last tab is the core pile cheat sheet, which just explains to you how to use the sheet. So yeah, that was a long explanation of my book reading tracking system, but yeah, that's what I'm deciding to go forward and do. What I want to do to make it easier for myself, especially with updating core pile, is when I do my monthly TBR videos, I'll actually want to already populate core pile with the books that are on my TBR, and by the time I'm done reading them, then I just add the star ratings, which would make it much easier, because I find that when I have to do that at the end of the month, it becomes a little bit more work, or like I run out of time to do all that. So yeah, that's it for that. All right, and then the next thing in terms of my reading goals, well, in 2023 I made lists of books that I want to read in 2023, and Some of them were like, you know, these 15 books that I want to read that are from African writers, or these list of books that I want to read that are middle grade or fantasy or whatever. And I didn't get to most of those books, so I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that this year because I have been a heavy mood reader, and that's what has been pushing me forward. And if none of the books on that list are intriguing me, I'm not going to go ahead and do it. And then to the series that I want to read and complete this year, I've got 24 books to share with you. I thought I would just make it 24 since we're in 2024. So I've picked 24 books that are from series that would either help me complete the series or get up to date with the series to a point where I'm just waiting for the new releases that are coming out in 2024 or any year after that. So I've made a list of books. Some of them are series that I've had for quite some time. Some of them are complete in terms of the books that I have, and again, some of them are not complete. So in no particular order, I got Gleam by Kennedy Ryan. You guys have seen this book on probably multiple TBR videos because I've been trying to finish off the series, and I thought that I would have gotten to a point where I'm finishing Gleam so that I can get to Glow. But guess what? When I was at the bookstore yesterday, I saw that they have another book out, Gold, and I'm just like, I thought we were done. I thought we were done. I think book 2 messed me up so much that I feel like I just want to get the series over and done with. So I'm kind of nervous, but at the same time I'm looking forward to book 3 to try and see if the series can redeem itself to me, because book 2 was a non-starter for me. I was bored. But yeah, so I've got Gleam, and then I've got Glow, and then I'm adding Gold to my list. So that will be 3 books to get this series to up to date, because I don't know if the author is going to continue with the series or not, or if Gold is the last book. I don't know. It depends how book 3 goes. That will determine whether I want to continue with the series or not. Also, I'm having a sweet red. This is my favorite wine drink. It doesn't matter from which brand. I love a sweet red wine. Okay, and then another one where the 3rd book is coming out end of January, I believe, is the Atlas Paradox, and then we've got the Atlas Complex coming out in 2024. I don't even know what my reasoning is now for not getting to this book. I still of the mind that I want to go back to the last chapter of book 1 just to remember the cliffhanger and the plot twist in the end. I remember it in my head, but I just want the details. And then I'm gonna get into the Atlas Paradox. And then I'm going to get into the Atlas Paradox because the Atlas Complex is coming out soon. I can't wait to see what it looks like. I absolutely love the illustrations that the author has in these books. They're absolutely pretty. And then I've got a duology that I need to start, and that is Foul Lady Fortune and Foul Heart Huntsman. And these are by Chloe Gong. I love that this is a duology, which means that I can quickly read these 2 books and then mark a series complete on my core pile. Because like I said, I haven't had a series marked complete since I set up that core pile sheet. And it's bad because I've got like short books, I've got duologies, I've got trilogies, but I just keep opening new books and starting new series and not going back to finish ones that I've started. And when I have open series that I've started and didn't complete, it's bad for me because I end up having to reread because I've then forgotten things that have happened, and that's not good. Okay, the next series I have, this is a trilogy, and I don't believe that there's gonna be any new books from here, and that is the Nevermore trilogy, and this is by Jessica Townsend. I finally have a complete set and I'm so excited to get into this one. I actually want to start this like really soon. I want to start book one while I'm still on holiday, but book one is called The Trials of Morrigan Crow, and then book two is called The Calling of Morrigan Crow, and then book three is The Hunt for Morrigan Crow. So people who read children's middle grade books have raved and raved and raved about this book, the series, and I'm finally excited to have a complete series that I could read and enjoy and indulge in. And then I've got The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I have no idea what happened to my fourth book. I used to have a fourth book. It wasn't a paperback size, it was a trade paperback, which annoyed me a little bit. Maybe I got rid of it. But I plan on redoing my bookshelves, and I will do a video for that. And if I don't find it when I'm repacking my bookshelf, then it means that I got rid of it and I need to get book four. But I'm counting this as 4 books to add because of the last book. But we've got The Bone Season, and we've got The Mime Order, sorry for the glare. We've got The Song Rising, and then the 4th book is called The Mask Falling. And as I'm telling you this, I just saw that there is book 5 coming out, which I guess would make sense. I don't know how many books are gonna end up being in the series, but the author right now is re-editing all of the Bone Season books, and there's new covers coming out, new editions coming out, and I don't know how different they are from what we have here. So I have read book 1 over a year ago, where I need to reread now. That's why it's counted as a book here, and I didn't find any issues with it. So we'll see when I go back into it and see if there's anything that really needed to be edited. Maybe she's added a few new scenes, I don't know, and I don't know how it impacts the whole story. I don't know what's gonna happen to me after when I get to book 5 and I don't have all these new edits. I hope it's not going to be a problem. But yeah, I'm counting 4 books for the Bone series by Samantha Shannon. And then I've got another trilogy, and this is the first era of the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. We've got The Final Empire, which is book 1, which I started in 2023, but I didn't finish, so I'm gonna restart. See what I mean when I talk about not leaving the series open for too long, or leaving books open for too long, because now I have to go back and reread stuff, and it's not cute. But anyway, book 2 is called The Well of Ascension, and then book 3 is called The Hero of Ages. I've heard amazing things about this first era of Mistborn, so there is a second era of trilogies which people did not enjoy as much as they did era 1, but I think it's still good. And then I've got a Darker Shade of Magic series or trilogy as well by V.E. Schwab. So I only have book 1 and 2 so far. I am yet to get book 3. So book 1 is called A Darker Shade of Magic, book 2 is called A Gathering of Shadows, and then book 3 is called Conjuring of Light, which I'm planning on getting really soon. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one. I've heard really amazing things about the series as well. I've only ever read one book from V.E. Schwab, which was Gallant, which I really enjoyed, so I'm looking forward to getting into A Darker Shade of Magic. And then another trilogy where I absolutely loved book 1, but I'm going to reread it because I waited a long time to continue with the series, but I don't mind rereading it because I had so much fun reading it, and I'm looking forward to picking up the clues that I've left behind the first time I read the book. And I'm talking about the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. So currently I only own book 1, which is called The Fifth Season. Book 2 is actually a loan from the library, which is called The Obelisk Gate. And then book 3 is called The Stone Sky. So I'm planning on buying these copies for myself because I absolutely love the series. And I only read one thing from N.K. Jemisin, but I feel like she's one of my favorite authors. She writes sci-fi, fantasy, and the magic system in this series is so intricate, so well thought out that I was just like, wow. It took me a while going back and forth trying to get everything and understand everything, but the way that she writes, it's so good. There's a long appendix at the back, but it gives you such a detailed history, a detailed explanation of what things are, which for me, like I said, well thought out. So I absolutely love that. You can tell this is somebody who, when I envisioned them writing this book, they had this massive wall with like characters and things connecting to each other and plot, like that's how I imagine it. All right, and then the final series that I want to get into right now, there's 2 books. I don't know if this is a duology or if the author is going to decide to come out with new books, and that is the Alex Stern series by Leigh Bardugo. So book 1 is called Ninth House. I actually started this as well, but I think the writing style was a little bit too convoluted for me, and it needed too much brain power that I did not have in that moment, so I put it down. So it's also going to be another one where I have to restart, but I've heard amazing things about it, which disappointed me when I read it, and I felt that I couldn't bring my mind to the party, but I want to try again this year. So we've got Ninth House, which is book 1, and then we've got Hellbent, which is book 2 by the same author. I also really like these covers. I don't like that my copies don't match, but absolutely love these. There's a snake on here. I don't even know what the significance of this is because I didn't get that far. And then there is a sickly looking rabbit in this one, and the eye of the rabbit is just like staring at you as the reader. So that is a list of the series that I want to complete, or at least get up to a point where I'm on par with book releases. But like I mentioned, I do have a spreadsheet where I'm listing all of my series that I'm currently busy with. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to be reading any of those books. It just means that these are the ones that I actually want to finish this year. All right, so that's it in terms of the series that I want to read. And then I've got goals for my YouTube channel. Where I am right now, I am at about 550 subscribers on YouTube, and obviously being on this platform uploading, there is a goal that we're trying to get to. I want to get monetized, and the first steps of that is to get to 1,000 subscribers. So that is going to be the goal for me, the immediate goal, to get to 1,000 subscribers, and as well as get 4,000 watch hours. So in that case, I need you guys to help me out and subscribe to this channel. If you haven't done so already, watch my videos until the end, because that time really does count, and that's how they measure how much people earn on the platform. So I definitely want to get monetized in 2024, and I'm gonna do my part to make sure that I get there. I feel like in 2023 I wasn't the most consistent. However, I think I did well enough. For the most part, I was uploading at least once a week. It wouldn't be on the date that I wanted or the amount of videos I want to upload a week, but I try to make sure that at least there's an upload. So my goal, my base goal in terms of uploads, is to upload 2 videos a week, which kind of works for me. I have my specific days that I would like to upload, which is Wednesdays and Sundays. Wednesdays for sit down videos such as this, and Sundays I would like it to be for vlogs. I haven't been able to meet those scheduled uploads, and I realized at some point that me trying to follow this was hindering or not motivating me to edit faster if I missed that day. I don't know if that makes sense, but I ended up then just uploading when I could, just trying to make sure that I upload twice a week. So I will still follow that, but I will try to aim for Wednesdays and Sundays to upload my videos. And then there is, in terms of my YouTube, I want to do so my base content is weekly reading vlogs, sit down videos like this, book hauls I do a lot, TBR videos, recommendation videos I'm trying to get into. And in terms of wrap-ups, I'm still a little bit on the fence with wrap-ups. I feel like doing them every month might not be something that I want to do, because I'm already doing weekly reading vlogs, and I feel like when I am doing a reading vlog, I'm giving more of a concise, detailed review of the book, because you're getting almost like a play-by-play of my thoughts and feelings as I'm reading the book. So in my reading vlog, you're actually getting a review of the book, but sometimes there are books that I don't get to talk about, especially when it's audiobooks that I've listened on my commute, and maybe it was like a 4-hour audiobook and it was quick and I forget to pick up my camera. Those would then fall away from the reading, the weekly reading. But I'm thinking that maybe I want to continue doing my quarterly wrap-ups and go through the books that I've read in the last 3 months. But the trick with that is I forget some of the things that I read and why I read them and all that. So that makes it a little bit tricky. So I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, what works for me. If I'm going to end up doing these monthly wrap-ups or quarterly wrap-ups, let me know down below what you guys prefer, and I will work from there. All right, and the last thing that I want to introduce to my YouTube is kind of like trope specific reading vlogs. And what I mean by that is I've picked up that I've got a couple of books that are surrounding the same topic, so like topic based reading vlogs, and I've realized that I have a lot of Greek mythology books that are sitting on my shelves needing to be read, and I want to do like a Greek mythology book reading vlog. I've got books about dragons that I want to do specific reading vlogs for, and so forth. So I've started making a list of those type of videos that I want to do and try to incorporate that into my channel every few months. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's gonna be fun. Let me know if you guys would be interested in something like that. And that wraps up my reading goals and my channel goals for 2024. I just want to quickly show you guys a few stationery items that I've procured for 2024. The first one I'm going to show you, it's actually not mine, it's for my husband, but I thought it was so nice that I want to show you guys. So it is a daily planner, and this was from Typo. They actually currently have a 30% sale running throughout like their store, and which is great because it came in handy to get this. So this is what his planner looks like. Just look at that design, it's so beautiful. Like I saw this and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want this, but I don't use their daily planner spreads the way that they set up, so I don't like the spreads, but I love this. Look at that. It's like you can feel the design, like I don't know what they call this type of design, but this is so pretty. So this is Harry Potter. So this is kind of like the theme they got going on right now. It's the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and on the inside, so on the first page, it just says this diary belongs to, and then they've got different options to take whatever applies. It belongs to a procrastinator, mastermind, creative genius, junk food lover, daydreamer, plant parent, adventurer, underachiever, overachiever, coriander hater. And then they've got goals and dreams to list here. So in our household, we've done our 2024 goals as a household, but each of us have our own specific goals that we want to achieve for the year. So this is great for him to fill that out. And we've got personal information, which I doubt he'll fill that. We've got kind of like a spread to show each day of the year. I don't know what you would use this as, because almost like a year at a glance, I guess. And then there's dates to remember. I don't think he'll use that either. And then we've got public holidays and observations as well for multiple countries. We've got a contacts page, which he's not going to use. And then we've got some handy information, time around the world, places I want to travel, and traits of the zodiac. When we read his, we absolutely laughed, because I was like, yes, definitely how you are. There's random challenges on this side, and then there's a bucket list on the right hand side, which dates to complete. And then for the actual monthly spread, this is the January monthly spread, and on the side here you've got your monthly goals, in which in my mind they should be kind of like smaller goals to get you to your big goals that you wrote in the beginning. And then this is what the daily spread actually looks like. So this will be useful for him to write his to-do list. I use a different book for my to-do list, and my daily to-do list usually consists of like work stuff. So I have a journal that I use for work. At the end of each month, they've got a notes page to fill out, and at the end of this, there's actually blank pages for scribbling. And yeah, that's it. So this is his daily diary. And then I've got mine. So I prefer the wellness diary. That's the one that I used. So this is the one that I had from last year, and it said it's okay to not do it all, take time for yourself, which I absolutely loved this saying, but I did not follow it through. And that's like one of my biggest struggles for 2023. I used this quite extensively actually, and I absolutely loved it. So the daily spreads, obviously I didn't fill this one up, but the daily spreads had things like today I loved, I learned, I achieved, and then track water intake tracking, and then I'm grateful for, and then tomorrow's focus. I want to do better with this one. But the thing that I absolutely love about these are the monthly messages for each month. And you could see that I wrote I love this, because I absolutely did. I absolutely loved it. So for each month it's different. And then what I would normally do, this is what the monthly spread would look like. I would write down what I want to do for each day. I use this for my social media planning. So I want to do that in advance, because clearly I only plan like half the month. But I want to do that in advance and kind of like hold myself accountable for making sure that if I wrote do an anticipated releases vlog on the uploaded, then it's actually uploaded. So yeah, this is what last year's one looks like. In terms of the cover design, I feel like they didn't do much for the new year, and I actually didn't like most of the covers for the Wellness Journal. I feel like they they're too bright and too colorful for my liking. I like more darker colors, more neutral tones. It has a very bright orange end paper, and the first page is about being mindful, and it just says the diary belongs to, and it says mindfulness these days is more important than ever. It's about learning to check in with yourself in moments of happiness and hardships where your mind has drifted a little, which mine does a lot. It allows you to align back into the moment, to be fully present. Your scrolling fam will appreciate the time off, which it's something that I feel like in terms of scrolling on social media, I did well in 2023. I stayed away from like deep scrolling because it really does affect me in not in a negative way, but I recognize that it's not a good pastime for me. I know that it scrolling on social media kind of helps with other people. I've heard people say that, you know, sometimes they needed to go through TikTok and scroll through TikTok to kind of like better their mood or whatever. But for me, it's the opposite. If I find myself having scrolled for an hour on TikTok, the minute I snap out of it, I'm upset. So for me, it doesn't do for me what it does for other people. So it was good actually to not scroll as much. I would normally, I think this one social media platform where I'm constantly on is YouTube, because that's my form of entertainment. So I'm on YouTube a lot. All right, so it's got personal information. It's got year in a glance for 2024 and reference calendar. So I don't know exactly how I'm gonna use that yet. And then there's the challenges page, and then there is a bucket list page as well. And we've got the message pages. So this is the January one, and it's got that 5 4 3 2 1 there to kind of like start off with. One thing that I don't like is they didn't change the messaging between 2023 and 2024. I expected them to have changed it, but I scrolled through and I realized they're the same. They just the same. You guys didn't try. But yeah, so this is what before I get into that, the monthly spread is still kind of like the same. So we've got this calendar spread with notes on the side. I absolutely love this blank one. My husband one has the giant numbers on. I like this one because I like to dot down my upload days for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So I feel like it works so well with this. And once I've set up my Notion, which I'm still on the fence about, do I want to do Notion or not? But I like the idea of Notion. But if I think then of all the different places that I have to update in terms of reading, social media, whatever, it becomes way too much. And I'm already using the Meta Business Suite as well for my uploads, especially on Instagram. And if I use that, then I can reference back to this. So I don't know, Notion, I'm still trying to think about what to do with Notion because I want to use it, but I want it to not be a repetition. And then for the daily spreads, I've got blank page. This one doesn't have times on it, which I like because I'm a bullet journaler. I love to make lists, and this could be a list of my personal things that I want to get done on this day. It has priorities, so I can mark whatever is a priority. And then it also has today I was grateful for, and then you can just quickly jot down what you're grateful for. And it allows you to also kind of like be in the moment, which is something that I'm trying to practice, and you'll see more of that in the next thing I'm going to show you. And it says tomorrow's focus and how I felt today, amazing, average, or I don't want to talk about it, which I'm hoping we don't have a lot of those days. And then we've got a water tracker, drink more water, you've got this, and an hours tracker. So I love these spreads. And at the end of each month, we've got a monthly reflection, which honestly I didn't use it as much in my previous journal, but actually want to use it more this year, because I noticed that whenever there were good things that were happening, we would celebrate it and then it would go past, right? And when something bad happens, it almost feels like that has more weight than the good thing that happens, and you end up not seeing how much good has happened. Because I feel like a lot of us, we've all been saying 2023 has been so bad. I can't wait for 2023 to end. 2023 has been this and that and all these negative things. And when I sat down and reflected on 2023, yes, there were things that went wrong in 2023, but when I had this discussion with my husband, and we're like, a lot of good things happened in 2023. We've had a lot of progress in terms of career and finances, like in terms of relationships, household. We've learned so much, and we've taken that for granted because it got overshadowed by a lot of the bad things that happened. So I feel like these monthly reflections are great for that, and I can get to the end of 2024 and have a look at actually what happened each month, because you can easily forget and just think about all the bad things that happened. So yeah, this is my daily wellness diary. This is all from Typo, which I love. And then I got myself a journal because I want to get into journaling more. I'm great. I'm a great bullet journaler. I'm great at making lists. I make lists for everything. You saw I make lists on my notes app. I make lists everywhere. But I don't know how to write my thoughts down. I don't know how to write my feelings down. I'm good at talking about it. I'm not good at writing about it. And I want to do a bit of shadow work in 2024. I thought I would do that in 23. I didn't do that, but I want to do that. So I got this very, very pretty journal, and this is from a company called The Papery. I absolutely love their journals and diaries. So last year I had the mom diary from The Papery, and I enjoyed it. So in terms of spreads, it looked more like my husband's daily diary. It had spreads like that, so you can use that for your daily task or whatever. But what I liked is that every month it also had like a recipe to add in it, and it had nice quotes in there. So I absolutely loved it. The designs for the mom diaries are also very beautiful, and I've been looking at them every time I go to bargain books, because they sell them at bargain books. But I'm just like, I love it, but I don't need it because I've got my wellness diary for that, and then I've got this journal. But this is a soft leather bound journal. It is just a blank dotted journal, which is my preference. I don't really like the lined ones. I feel like they restrictive, and I've already started using this. And like I said, I struggle with journaling because I don't know what to write. So what I've been doing is watching a lot of YouTubers that do kind of like podcast style YouTube videos, and there's two people in particular that I watch on a weekly basis, and I get a lot of inspiration from them. And every time I'm watching or listening to them, I'm picking up these journal prompts from them that make me want to put stuff down. So for example, I watched Tiffany's channel. I'll put it up here. So one of the things she said in one of her videos was, what am I putting into the universe to receive what I'm getting in return? And I was just like mind blown by that, because this is essentially, what am I manifesting, right? And you can manifest good things, and manifestation can come in terms of prayer, in terms of writing things down, which I love to do. I'm using my phone now because my batteries are dead and my memory cards are full, and I don't have time to redo this later. So yeah, so this is the journal that I got. So like I say, I watch Tiffany, who gives a lot of like journal prompt type content when she's doing her videos, and I consume her videos like on a weekly basis. So it gives me kind of like a jump start in terms of journal prompts. And this one, what am I putting into the universe to receive what I'm getting in return, resonated with me so much because, like I mentioned, I believe in manifestations, but don't realize that even when we're just talking normally, we putting things out in the universe. And I find that in 2023, I was saying a lot of negative things to myself that I need to train myself not to say anymore, because whatever I would say, it would happen. So I'm training my brain to like not think about something like that. If I feel like, I'm gonna make a silly example, but if, let's say, I feel a headache coming up, I'm like, stop saying, oh, I feel a headache coming up, oh, it's gonna be so bad, or oh, this is, I feel it's gonna be like terrible. I don't want to do that anymore. If I feel a headache coming up, I will acknowledge that, okay, I feel this coming up, but it's gonna go away. I'm going to drink water, it is gonna go away, unless it's something much deeper. But it's a silly example, but that's kind of like what I am trying to get into. I don't want to manifest a terrible week ahead. I don't want to manifest a terrible Monday. Oh my gosh, it's Monday. Ugh, lots of meetings. I'm not going to get any work done. Because what happened? I didn't get any work done because I had a lot of distractions, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to say those type of things because that's essentially what happened to me. So yeah, that is something that I got from watching Tiffany. Another YouTuber that I enjoy watching on a weekly basis is Heinz. He also does like podcast type content, and he's been doing a lot of lives. Actually, I never catch, well, not never, but it's only one that I caught the other day as he was doing it, but mostly I'm watching like the post live session. And yeah, so though that's how I am going to be journaling right now, because I haven't yet gotten to a point where I can just pick up my journal and just start writing. I sit there and I'm like, what do I want to write? What can I write today? So I don't want to do that because I'm probably going to end up making a list, and I don't want to do that. However, I have opened up or left the first page open for my goals. This is something that I don't mind putting everywhere. I am still going to do a 2024 vision board for the family, so I'm not gonna show that to you guys. I'm still wondering if I should do a combined family 2024 reading goal, because a lot of the goals that